Hello, welcome to the next video session on computer graphics and visualization. In this session, we'll be discussing about raster scan systems, video controller, basic operations or the refresh operations of the video controller, and raster scan display processor. Okay, so let us see what do you mean by raster scan systems. So interactive raster graphics systems typically employs several processing units, right? So if you are talking about any interactive raster graphic system, so in the earlier video lecture we had seen what do you mean by raster scan display. So interactive raster graphic system typically employs several processing units. In addition to the central processing unit, that is the CPU, a special purpose processor called as a video controller or the display controller, as it is shown in this particular diagram here, it is used to control the operation of the display device. So in addition to the CPU, a special purpose processor called as the video controller or the display controller is used to control the operation of the display device. Organization of a simple raster system is shown in this particular diagram here. We have the CPU, we have the system memory, the video controller, all are interconnected using a system bus, which in turn is connected to a bunch of I/O devices, and this video controller is then connected to the monitor. So in this diagram, the frame buffer can be anywhere, or as per this particular diagram, the frame buffer can be anywhere in the system memory, and the video controller that we have here, as it is shown in this particular box here, the frame buffer can be anywhere in the system memory, and the video controller accesses the frame buffer to refresh the screen. So for the screen to refresh, the video controller should access the contents of the frame buffer in order to refresh the screen. In addition to the video controller, raster systems employ other processes as co-processors and accelerators to implement the graphics operations, or to implement what we call as the different graphic operations, maybe screen refresh, drawing something, and so on. So we have a special purpose processor called as a video controller. So what is a video controller? It's a special purpose processor, also called as a display controller, which is used along with the CPU to control the operation of the display device. Now let us see what are the components of the video controller, or how does the video controller actually works. Now this diagram here shows commonly used architecture or the connectivity for organization for the raster systems here. A fixed area of the system memory, as it is shown here, is reserved for the frame buffer, and the video controller is given direct access to the frame buffer. So unlike the previous diagram, there was no direct connection with the frame buffer. Here in this particular diagram, we have a separate area of the memory called as the frame buffer that is reserved for storing the graphics information. Right, a fixed area of the system memory is reserved for the frame buffer, and the video controller is given direct access to the frame buffer memory. Frame buffer locations are accessed from this frame buffer. The frame buffer locations and the corresponding screen positions are referenced in something called as the Cartesian coordinates. Okay, so that is how the video controller accesses the frame buffer in order to perform any graphics operations. Now let us look at what are the basic video controller refresh operations. Okay, so as we can see in this particular diagram here, two registers, that is X register and Y register, they are used to store the coordinate value for the screen pixel. Any position on a screen, we need to have the value for the X coordinate and the Y coordinate in order to pinpoint a pixel location on the screen. So two registers are used to store the coordinate values for the screen pixels. Initially, the X register is set to 0 and the Y register is set to the top of the scan line. Okay, if this is the top of the scan line, X is set to 0 and Y is set to the value of the top scan line. As we know, the CRT working, screen refresh starts from left to right, top to bottom. So X register will be initially set to 0, or it is initialized to 0, and Y register is set to the value of the top value of the scan line, the topmost scan line. The contents of the frame buffer at this pixel position, that is here, as if I hope you can see the cursor here at this top left corner of the screen. The contents of the frame buffer at this pixel position are then retrieved and used to set the intensity of the CRT beam. The X register is incremented by 1 and the process is repeated for the next pixel on the top scan line. So we are going to move the electron beam from left to right. So X value will be continuously incremented. Y value will be fixed for one particular scan line. This procedure continues for each pixel along the top scan line. After the last pixel on the top scan line has been processed, the X register is reset to 0 and the Y register is set to the value for the next scan line from the top of the screen. So let us say we have reached the end of the scan line for a particular value of the top scan line. Let us say the value of Y is set to the value of the top scan line. So once we have reached the rightmost pixel, we need to move to the next line. The electron beam should go to the next line. So again, reset the value of X to 0, value of Y will be set to the value of the next scan line. The procedure is repeated for each successive scan line. After recycling through all the pixels along the bottom scan line, the video controller resets the registers to the first pixel position on the top scan line and the refresh process starts over. So once we have identified all the pixel values, once the electron beam is swept across all the pixel values starting from X equal to 0 to X equal to the maximum value, that is the rightmost value on a given scan line, and let us say we have reached scanning all the pixels along all the scan lines, we say one refresh operation is complete. We need to again refresh the screen starting from the top left corner. So after cycling through all the pixels along the bottom scan line, the video controller resets the registers to the first pixel position on the top scan line and the refresh process starts over. Now what can we do to speed up pixel position processing of a video controller? Let us say we want to speed up the pixel position processing of a video controller. Now since the screen must be refreshed at a rate of at least 60 frames per second, the simple procedure illustrated in this diagram may not be accommodated by RAM chips if the cycle is too slow. Now to speed up the pixel processing, video controllers can retrieve multiple pixel values from the refresh buffer on each pass. Rather than fetching one individual pixel values from the refresh buffer, to speed up the pixel processing, the video controllers can retrieve multiple pixel values from the refresh buffer on each pass. When the group of pixels has been processed, the next block of pixels is retrieved from the frame buffer. So if you want to speed up the pixel processing, what we can do is we can retrieve multiple pixel values from the refresh buffer, and we can also store multiple pixel values on the frame buffer. So when a group of pixels has been processed, the next block of pixels values will be retrieved from the frame buffer. Rather than retrieving one pixel value at a time from the frame buffer, we can retrieve a block or multiple pixel values from the frame buffer in order to speed up the pixel processing by the video controller. Let us see what are the advantages of this video controller. A video controller can be designed to perform a number of other operations as well. For various applications, the video controller can retrieve pixel values from different memory areas on different refresh cycles. This provides a mechanism for generating real-time animations. Right? For various applications, the video controllers can retrieve pixel values from different memory areas of the refresh cycles, which provides a fast mechanism for real-time animation, for a smooth animation. Another video controller task is the transformation of blocks of pixels so that the screen areas can be enlarged, reduced, or moved from one location to another during the refresh cycles. That is one more task of the video controller, which is a transformation of the blocks of pixels so that screen areas can be enlarged, reduced, or moved from one location to another during the refresh cycles. In addition, the video controller often contains a lookup table so that the pixel values in the frame buffer are used to access the lookup table. This provides a fast method for changing the screen intensity values. So in addition, the video controller also contains a lookup table so that the pixel values in the frame buffer are used to access the lookup table, which provides a fast method for screen intensity changes. Finally, some systems are designed to allow the video controller to mix the frame buffer image with an input image from the television camera or other input device. Right? So some systems are also designed to allow the video controller to mix the image definition that is present in the frame buffer along with an input image from the television, camera or other input device. So that is about the video controller. Now let us see what we mean by raster scan display processor. So this diagram of this figure here shows one way to organize the components of a raster system that contains a separate display processor, sometimes referred to as a graphics controller or a display coprocessor. So this is one way to organize the components of raster system that contains a separate display processor, also referred to as a graphics controller or a display coprocessor. So the purpose of the display processor here is to free the CPU from the graphic processing. The task of graphic processing will be free from the CPU, so the CPU will be less burdened. CPU processing cycles can be used for other routine tasks. CPU will be freed from the task of graphics processing. The graphics processing will be done by this display coprocessor or the graphics coprocessor. In addition to the system memory, so as we can see here, we have the system memory. In addition to the system memory, a separate display processor memory area can be provided. Unlike the previous diagram, so here the system memory part was used as a part of a frame buffer was used as a part of the system memory, whereas here in this particular architecture we have a separate memory area, which is the memory area of the display processor, which can be used as a frame buffer. A major task of the display processor is digitizing a picture definition given in an application program into a set of pixel values for storage in the frame buffer. That is called as the scan conversion. So what is the scan conversion? The task of the display processor where it digitizes a picture definition given in an application program into a set of pixel values for storage in the frame buffer. So that is a major task of the display coprocessor, where it digitizes a picture definition given in an application program into a set of pixel values for storage in the frame buffer. This process or this digitization process is called as scan conversion. The task of digitizing a picture definition given in an application program into a set of pixel values for storage in the frame buffer is called as the scan conversion. For example, if you want to display a line, graphics commands for specifying the straight lines and other geometric objects are scan converted into a set of discrete points corresponding to the screen pixel positions. So scan conversion or converting a straight line, scan converting a straight line segment. So what we have here is sometimes there may be a need to draw a straight line segment, right? So in that case, what we need to do is suppose we give one point here and the end point of a line segment here, and we need to find all the intermediate points that is lying on this straight line. I'm just giving you an example. This process is called as a scan conversion. So all the points that lie on this particular straight line, just imagine that is a straight line here. If I have a straight line something like this, so we have the position of the start point and the end point, and all the subsequent points that are lying on these straight line, these should be identified. So that process is an example for scan conversion. Okay, so that is one example. Suppose if you want to display a character, what do we need to do? So we need to form a rectangular grid of pixels, and all the pixels that are used to form a shape of a character, that needs to be identified. Okay, the array size for character grids can vary from 5 by 7 block to 9 pixel by 12 pixels or more for higher quality displays. A character grid is displayed by superimposing a rectangular grid pattern into the frame buffer at specified screen positions. You can also use certain curved lines for drawing the characters as well. So that is how we can scan convert different objects to be drawn onto the screen. So there are some additional operations that is to be done by the display processor along with the scan conversion. Display processors are also designed to perform a number of additional operations which include generating various line styles. I just mentioned an example here. We can draw a straight line, something like this, or we can draw a straight line using only dotted patterns, or we can draw a straight line using only dots. Specifying how to draw a straight line, that is also a task or the function of a display processor, right? So display processor should also be able to generate different line styles, such as dashed lines, dotted lines, or solid lines, displaying color areas and applying transformations to objects in a scene. What are transformations? We'll look into we'll be discussing it in the next module. Okay, how to rotate an object, how to move an object onto the screen, how to change the shape of an object. Okay, we have something called as scaling, increasing or decreasing the shape of an object, and so on. Display processors are typically designed to interface with the interactive input device such as a mouse. Now, there are methods to reduce the memory requirements of a display processor. So in an effort to reduce the memory requirements in a raster systems, methods have been devised for organizing the frame buffers as a linked list and encoding the color information. So one organization scheme is to store each scan line as a set of number pairs. Encoding method can be useful in the digital storage and transmission of picture information. So encoding can be used to reduce the memory requirements of a display processor. There are two types of encoding. First one, we have something called as run length encoding. The first number in each pair can be a reference to a color value, and the second number can specify the number of adjacent pixels on the scan line that are to be displayed in that particular color. So this is called as run length encoding. Second type of encoding we have is something called as a cell encoding. So in this approach, in cell encoding, we encode the raster as a set of rectangular areas or in the form of cells, right? So these two encoding techniques can be used to minimize the memory requirements of a display processor. So in this video lecture, we saw what do you mean by or the basic components of raster scan systems, what do you mean by video controller, the task of the video controller, what are the basic video controller refresh operations, and then we discuss what is a display processor, why do we need it, and what are the tasks that will be accomplished using this display processor. With this, let us conclude this video session. Thank you.